Welcome back, everybody. It's Mr. Reality, joined by psychic medium Liz Cross. And Liz, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Fall is in the air, ready for spooky stuffs. And over the weekend, I saw national news about a 1991 Austin, Texas yogurt shop murder. The police have finally released the details of the perpetrator, even though they passed away 26 years ago by self-infliction. So I wondered if we could try and understand what happened, why this happened, and maybe piece together what the girls that were there were feeling now and then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
So, I wonder if you want to start with the victims here. This is Eliza, Sarah, Jennifer, and Amy. They were
Hmm.
inside of a I can't believe it's yogurt shop. I remember when I used to go to I can't believe it's yogurt shops, and it's sad that now it's been tainted with that memory. But are they ex happy that they've finally murder's been brought to justice, or have they let that go? It's been 26 years.
Hmm. Are you girls happy that he's been, he hasn't been brought to justice. Are you happy they found the killer? Yes, but he hasn't been brought to justice. He's gotten away with not only their murder, but I am picking up how many people? He's murdered over 30 women in total.
Oh. Why is
Yeah.
that kind of a thing allowed? And there's no justice on the other side? Did they have karmic ties with him that had to go with this way?
Did you have karmic ties with him? Yes, they did. But why is this allowed? I mean, it just is one of those things. I mean, he chose to be the culprit, the perpetrator. I mean, even as he's standing here and he's beaming through his personality as he was in that particular lifetime, I mean, he's pretty psychotic. And I mean that.
Isn't it true that you have to hand over your life plan before you come down? And so if it has 30 murders in it, shouldn't that be a red flag with management that maybe this guy needs help?
No, it's all part of the plan.
How
But I
so?
mean,
I don't get
he's
the plan.
deranged. How is it part of the plan? Because it was all agreed upon. You know, the contracts were agreed upon, the outcome was agreed upon. And I want to ask him a question. I'm going to say, why did you choose the outcome that you did instead of choosing the outcome of being called maybe death penalty, life in prison? And this is, again, it's this crazy thing that we do to maximize the suffering. Even though he has now been named as the killer, and quite rightly so, it hasn't provided any relief to any of the remaining family members. It's not helped them at all.
No, it's 25 years of trauma, 25 years of suffering, and it doesn't do anything down here. Is it a mental imbalance that happened before he came down? Is it schizophrenia? We know it's a mental illness. Sane people don't do these things, but was there, we like to find a pivotal event in their lifetime which could have caused them, this fellow, to turn out to be a psychopath.
Okay. Robert, what? Well, from almost the moment he was born, he was repeatedly raped by who? Mother and father, mother and male figure. Constantly. It was almost as if his life was here on the earth plane for sexual gratification. Now, this is going to be hard for people to hear. I understand that. Unfortunately, I have to report what I get, but I mean, I understand the ramifications that it's going to make people feel terrible.
Oh,
But this is
yeah.
what's going on. I mean, he was did your I feel his mother was almost special needs or definitely learning disability. Something is really not right with her. I feel that she was used as a catalyst to breed or have a child for sexual gratification. There's definitely something not right with the mom.
All right. Well, how far back in incarnations does this depravity or disgusting behavior begin, or can we find a pinpoint at the beginning of it?
Yeah, let's go back and see where did this begin? Okay, so there was a lifetime where, and it's not even human, where he killed his mother. He was just angry, deranged, and he killed his mother in that lifetime. So that is now the karmic bond. And in each lifetime, it's very much with this mother-son bond, cruelty. Like, I'm going to be cruel to you, you're going to be cruel to me. And this is what they do. And
Well,
unfortunately, in this last lifetime, as Robert, he acted out on other people. I mean, he was really, really crazy. Like, as I tap into him here, he's making all sorts of rude gestures because he's trying to get me to understand how he was in that lifetime. I mean, he was compulsive, he could barely contain himself. On the occasions when he was forced to contain himself, he really didn't know the difference between right and wrong. Um, Abused many children. And I'm saying, but why the need to, okay, sexual assault is one thing. Why the need to murder, right? Because you don't necessarily have to have both. Not saying that either one is acceptable, but why take it this one step further? Like, what is that about? Where did this need come in? So we understand why the need for sexual depravity came in, because he was used as a sexual object, an object from birth. But why this need to then go beyond that and actually, oh, wow. Now, I don't know how much is out there about the family. There is definitely this male figure who was prominent in his life that did the exact same thing. Okay, I'm getting that very strongly. He had witnessed this behavior of, I don't know what, I can't say the word on YouTube, and then making someone exit the earth plane. It's almost like this male that was a prominent figure in his life was also a serial killer.
so he's looking up to
He,
this person and trying to be like them.
that's exactly what was going on. So they would, and the male would kill prostitutes. So the kid would be in the car. Okay, I can see it. And the prostitute would say, well, you got your kid in the back or whatever, but they want their money. And he wanted Robert to see the assault and the murder.
Oh,
And it always took place in a wooded area. So this male would drive Robert and the prostitute out to a wooded area. And were these women ever found? No. I don't feel that these women were ever found. It was really secluded, really hidden. And this went on sometimes on a nightly basis. Of course, these crimes were not reported to the police. You can't really report that a prostitute is missing. These girls were, I mean, unfortunately for them, their circumstances, they were down and out. They weren't, nobody was really keeping tabs on them, maybe other prostitutes, but people come, people go, right?
Oh,
It was just one of those things. Hmm.
so when did he seek out, was it premeditated, the yogurt shop, or is it just happenstance that he happened to be walking by?
Was it premeditated? No, it was just compulsive behavior. This is an opportunity. They're vulnerable. He went and made them lock the door. I mean, I don't know if you want all the particulars about
I
what
do not.
happened.
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. And I want to know, did hopefully none of them suffered too much? And what was their exit like? Did they, I don't want people to feel trauma and stress and
Yeah.
in their death, but dying like this seems traumatic and stressful. So was it an easy passage for them once they crossed over?
I mean, once they crossed over, they were relieved, but leading up to that point, it was their worst nightmare. They were terrified. They were screaming, they were crying. They were told that if they followed directions, they will make it out alive. And the fact that they were so terrified of him, it made him feel really powerful. Like he's got control over them. He's in
Oh,
control of their lives. It's this really sick psychological thing.
yeah.
And that's why he took it further and further and further. It wasn't that they weren't complying. They were doing everything that he asked them to do and told them to do and demanded that they do. But he just enjoyed the hysteria, the fact that he was traumatizing them. It's really sick.
Oh, it's just disgusting. And my stomach is in knots. But I gotta ask this question then. What It's hard for me to understand this mindset. Hopefully
Hmm.
everybody out there is having the same difficulty, but is there, I don't know, what did he feel after and he left?
What did you feel after you left? Satisfied, powerful, and wanted to do it again immediately. Just very compulsive. If there are child disappearances in areas where he was, that's him. Um, he had abducted children and did the same thing.
Yeah, there are others here. This is in
Oh,
91. The next might be in 97, 98. And you're saying there were more instances in between 91 and 97.
were there more? Oh, a lot more. So what were you traveling? Yeah, I mean, he'd steal cars, he would travel. Were you in a truck at all? No. Were you hitchhiking? No. But he had access to vehicles. And were you picking these women up along the road? And yeah, I mean, he was going from place to place. He was robbing people. He was stealing gas. He would go and steal gas from the gas stations. Um, he would drink. Did you use drugs? No, not really. Um, but he just had this crime spree that span across many states. Did you actually like go from one side of the country to the other. I knew that. He was trying to show me that. Yes, he actually went from one side of the country to the other, seeing it was a challenge for him to see how many people he could kill along the way. Were you on I-40? I do feel he was on I-40. Work because I-40 stretches across the country, right? And was that, did you stay on? He didn't stay on I-40. Were a majority of the murders on, I mean, a lot of them were on I-40. And were they prostitutes? Some were prostitutes. Some were women he picked up in a bar, and he would get them drunk and say he was going to take them home.
And can you tell us about the soul contracts of the girls that they entered into with this
with
murderer,
with him. What
serial
do the
killer?
Jackson? Well, they so up in the spirit world, they were asking for volunteers. Hey, we need, someone or to do this, and this is how it's going to play out. Again, as souls, we sign up for this stuff. We don't realize how it's going to affect us, how it's going to affect the people around us, how it's going to affect people that watch the news in the area. This crime put everybody on edge for a long time. I mean, nobody felt safe. It actually traumatized a lot of people.
Hmm.
And that's what it was supposed to do. It's supposed to feed, emotional output. You feed the information in, you get the emotional output, and that emotional output is energy that is injected into the universal consciousness. I mean, this was supposed to happen, but it's all well and good making contracts up there, and you don't, everything's great, and who cares? And we don't have to worry about anything, and we make these things, and we come down and we do them, and then it's in hindsight that we realize, hey, this was not good for my soul family.
So Eliza and Jennifer, did they have previous incarnations with Robert? And what were the circumstances surrounding those two or those life interactions previously? Or was this a new contract that they made when there was a call to sign up?
Eliza
The
and
two on the
Jennifer.
left.
Eliza, did you have a previous Yeah, she knew him in a past life. He was a customer. She worked in some sort of saloon, actually, and he was a regular customer that came in. He was known to be extremely mean and nasty and horrible. He was an alcoholic in that lifetime. He was violent and vicious. He would inappropriately touch women. For Jennifer, no, this was the first time she made a contract like this with
And how
him.
about first Sarah and Amy?
Sarah, no, first time. Amy's known him from way, way back in a past life, way back in some sort of tribe. But males and females didn't really mix in the tribe. Like females had their dedicated roles, males had their dedicated roles. It was very segregated.
Have the
But there
girls
was
reincarnate?
there was no real interaction though between the two. It was like an acquaintanceship. Not no nothing there.
Have the girls reincarnated since 1991?
No.
None of them?
Have any of you ring? No.
How do they feel collectively looking back on this experience?
They never want to repeat this ever again. Now they understand it. They never want to create such trauma. Like somebody else will have to make those contracts because they're not doing it.
Who was the person that called for volunteers on the other side, and do they suffer any blowback karmically for putting souls into situations where they get this level of trauma attached to them?
Hmm. Aren't you clever? Who asked for volunteers? Advisors. Again, here we go with the advisors,
Hmm.
right? We need people, we need signups. We need signups. This is, and these four, okay, they may have known him briefly in a past life, nothing intimately. Um, oh yeah, okay, sign us up. There, see, this is where we're not questioning what's going on over there. We're not questioning the contracts, we're not
I'm trying.
interviewing, we're not scrutinizing, we're not, what exactly is this going to do? How exactly is this going to make me feel? How exactly is this going to affect my soul and the souls in my soul family? How is this actually going to be a benefit to those that are witnessing it, even
Hmm.
the perpetrator? How does that benefit him? Well, it doesn't, because it creates all of this negative karma that he now is stuck with, even more so than what he had before, as if he didn't have enough. And, this is the thing where, and we did a CTT on this the other week, where, we're not questioning, we're not interviewing, we're not asking, we're not looking to see where, show me the avatar, show me exactly how this scene is going to play out, show me how this is going to make people feel, what are
Right.
the after effects, what trauma am I absorbing? Again, it's that just naivety of the soul. Sign me up.
And is there any blowback uphill from those karmic advisors or those, middle management teams? Or are they out of the, system because are they
Mhm.
insulated from the system, I guess?
Yeah, they're protected because they no longer have to reincarnate. So there's no karma that attaches to them. They just have a job to do and they do their job.
But aren't
They
some
don't,
of them birds? Like, how did they get
yeah,
to that position?
right. Exactly, which we've come across that before as well, which is a lot of these advisors up there have never even had human lifetimes. So let's ask the advisor that set this up or helped to facilitate this. Were you ever a human? Yes. Actually, this one was a human, but almost like caveman existence, Neanderthal, never really evolved into
Hmm.
anything close to what we are now.
Then how did they get the role they're at?
How did you get the role that you were appointed by the hierarchy, by the board? And I know you're putting together a big video about the politics in the afterlife. I'm so looking forward to learning from that.
Yeah, that's going to be a deep one. I apologize in advance for that one. You might have to look up some words, but this is just turns my stomach, and I mean, my heart goes out to the families, the girls. It's just sickening at me every time I hear about it.
Hmm.
If it doesn't rock your soul, then it should. This character here, then that pulled the trigger, is there any justice for him? Is there any compensation or like retribution for him, or has he done this in previous incarnations, and will he continue to do it?
Have you killed in previous? Yeah, he's been involved in like Wild West shootouts and things like that in past lives. What about, so here's the thing I want to know.
Hmm.
If the life circumstances would have been planned out that you would have spent the rest of your life in jail, does that allow the person or the soul to do some repair? No. In most cases, it's just survival in the jail. I mean, I know there's a lot of religion that goes on in jail, a lot of trying to convert people from, evil to good, would that not have, does that benefit anyone on a soul level? Now I'm asking him. I don't know if he's the best one to ask, but I'm asking him, does that benefit?
Hmm.
No, because it's not the energy exchange, right? Okay, it makes the consciousness, it heals the human consciousness that is attached to the human in the lifetime. But as we know, that consciousness dissolves here on the earth plane. It does not fix the soul. And the big problem that I have here now is that he will have to do this again. That's what bothers me. And I'm saying to the girls, are you guys going to sign up for this? No, they're not going to sign up for this. But he will do this again and again and again because his soul took the easy way out. And the easy way was, I'm not going to fix any of this. But to be fair to him, not that there should be any fairness directed towards him at all, but his childhood situation was so grim and so bad that the brain and the psychology and the heart, and it was beyond repair. I mean, it couldn't, this is something that couldn't be fixed at all. Obviously he was supposed to do what he had to do, but I'm saying to him, well, would you ever factor in a lifetime of healing? No. No, he can't do that yet.
Hmm.
He's not that evolved as a soul to have a lifetime of healing. So, okay, maybe your childhood circumstances were terrible, but then you spend the rest of your life trying to heal it, and you are so determined to not be anything like the childhood or the people that raised you, or to be anything, you go the opposite direction, and you
Hmm.
even have your own children, and you are so determined to not raise your children in that way. In fact, you overcompensate in the other direction to make sure I'm like, what about these as viable options in the life plan? And he's like, oh, thank you, Liz. I'll think about that. But in his circumstances in that lifetime as Robert, his last lifetime, were so bad. His brain was beyond repair. If he would have gone to jail, he would have raped and murdered in jail.
I wanted to ask the Morgan, our middle management expert up there, if she can clarify the other things and questions that we had about, are there red flags up there for people that are coming down? And is there any like recompense or, plan for them when they come up? Because, hey, you're a serial murderer. Let's get you into a room and maybe talk about how not to do that in the next lifetime.
No, it's down to the souls to work on clearing out the rubbish that they bring up with them. They still have the energy, the blueprint is still there. It's still attached to them. It's up to the souls to work it out. The advisors give suggestions and ideas. See, a lot of people think that there's this great school of healing on the other side.
That's what we're looking for.
You're right. But the healing, the school of healing, what I find is just, oh, well, here's more options to sort out what you've got to sort out that you weren't able to fix. That's what I find is the school of healing up there. And I don't want to paint this bleak picture. Don't get me wrong, everybody is mostly joyful, happy to be there, recharging their batteries, happy to see their loved ones. It's not, I think that's part of the problem because you don't take the full weight of what actually happens here on the earth plane. and it's mind, it's wiped from you. It's just like the mind wipe when you come down. It's another wiping when you go up there. You then make these decisions, you make these contracts because the weight of what you're doing is not attached to you anymore.
It's odd that it's mind wiped in the both directions, isn't it? We forget our soul path and then we forget the path of the soul on the way back.
It is very strange.
Can the
Uh,
Morgan give us any update on the project we tasked her with to find the missing Philadelphia experiment sailors?
she's looking, but it's all very top secret. She can't let others know that this is what she's doing.
All right, well, we
Why do
appreciate her
we have,
work.
we do so much. Why do we have to experience the mind wipe coming down and going back up? Because we wouldn't play the game if our minds were not wiped. We wouldn't participate.
What's the fastest turnaround time somebody has had, if we can ask the Morgan, from passing away to reincarnating?
What's the fastest turnaround time? Five what, days? Years, 5 years.
And what's the longest that she's known of so far?
What's the longest that you've known? 10,000 years.
What else is the Morgan working on in her day job and night job?
She ushers in the souls. What do you mean by ushering? So she kind of directs them where they need to go. Like, you ask for directions. Hey, do you know where I can find, signing up to be a writer or signing up to be a musician or lectures on what it's like to be this or lectures on what it's like to be that. I mean, she kind of sort of is a directory. That's part of her job.
Can she help these girls in the next incarnation to choose better life paths?
No, they have to do it themselves.
Trying. We're
I
trying,
think they
Liz.
will. I think they will. Like that's about as bad as you can get, right? And what he experienced is terrible. So let's ask him this question. Can you see now that we're talking about this and we're putting it into a 360-degree perspective, like all the way around? Will you still continue to make contracts with your father and mother? See, now we've actually changed his soul perspective as we've been talking to him. Because he's like, well, maybe I need to change soul families. But the problem
Well,
is he's bound by this karma. So now you're going to have to get permission to be released from the negative karma. It takes a lot to be released. In fact, I had a reading the other day with someone. It was so interesting because changing soul families is a big task, but actually, she just changed soul families frequently. She'd got the whole sort of protocol down pat. She just goes, one soul family, no, this isn't working out. Next soul family, next one, next one. And she doesn't have children in her lifetimes anymore until she figures out a good soul family to start, procreating. And because once you start having children within the soul family, now you're sort of tied in, you're hooked in at the DNA level, the lineage level. It creates a harder contract to get out of. But she didn't do that. She just goes, okay, this lifetime with this soul family isn't really working out. So next lifetime, I'm going to find a different soul family.
is that something we can do while incarnated, or is that something we have to do on the other side?
So that's something we have to do while incarnated. I mean, you can certainly get the idea of dumping the soul family whilst you are here on the earth plane, but you've got to make sure that that idea sticks within the soul so that when everything's like, wonderful and great and joyful and loving on the other side, oh, isn't it great to see you all again? Oh, I've missed you. Yeah, we survived that one. Ha ha, you did this, I did that. You've got to make sure that that determination to change the soul family is so strong that you follow through with it when you get to the other side. Because we can all say all kinds of things when we're down here.
Hmm.
We will feel completely different on the other side.
Can we clarify from the Morgan what's dropped when you cross over from your incarnation life into your spirit life? Maybe the trauma, but what else is in that reverse mind wipe or
Hmm. The weight of the emotions are dropped. The how bad the experiences were are dropped. Um, Lots of things. The animosity that you may feel for someone in your soul family.
why?
Uh,
Is it because those
well,
things are held in the heart and you don't have a physical heart? Or is it because they're not as important up there? Or your soul doesn't have the capacity to feel? I'm just trying to understand why.
that's a really great question. Why is it because it's held? Yeah, because that was an excellent question, right? Yes, because those feelings are held in the heart. What about the chakras? Do they go with us? See, yeah, and feelings in the chakras, those energy centers dissolve here on the earth plane when the body dies. So a lot of those, feelings of resentment, hatred, frustration, anger, they just dissipate.
Hmm.
The
Where
weight
are the
of it. The weight is in the heart. The weight is in the chakras. You still have the programming in the energy field of the soul that you take up there.
where is the soul's capacity to feel housed?
Hmm. It's located just behind the solar plexus.
In the soul? The soul has a solar plexus?
Oh no, sorry.
And
I
the
thought you
afterlife,
meant
where the
in the
soul's capacity to feel, where is that transposed to when you no longer have a physical body?
where is that transposed to? The consciousness. It's just a consciousness, but it's not heavy. It's not a heavy consciousness. I mean, it depends on the individual. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you do have like this guy, this Robert dude who's standing here still making his rude gestures. I'm like, I'm so not interested, like
Hmm.
seriously. But
I'm still
he
curious, are you still tethered to those emotions, or have they then gone into like, a book on the shelf and you no longer feel them when you're a soul?
mm, are you still tethered to those emotions? I mean, the emotions are in the soul blueprint, but the life that you've just lived really goes into almost like the Akashic records. It's like, yeah, okay, there another one down. But for him, I mean, he's obviously carrying around some heavy, dark energy, even though on the other side he doesn't feel it as heavy. I mean, he felt nothing when he was here. I will tell you that his negative feelings were disconnected completely. That was how he survived this level of cruelty that was happening to him as a child, even when he was witnessing the, the this male who was murdering the prostitutes. He felt nothing apart from elation and joy. The only time he could experience any feelings is, leading up the compulsive feelings of I've got to act out to, okay, I feel a high, I feel powerful, but you want to try to maintain that connection to some sort of feelings, right? Any feelings. You know, being numb, some people that have been numb for so long welcome even trauma or welcome negative feelings just so they can feel something, right? Because it feels awful to be numb. It's you're just existing. You're not feeling what it's like to live. For him, the only feelings he really connected with when he was on this high of what he was doing. And then he was always chasing the high, always chasing the feeling because that's all he could feel.
All right, Liz, thanks for bringing forth the entities involved in this situation, and I'm glad the families finally have closure.
Yeah, gosh, this was pretty deep. So thank you so much. Don't forget, Mr. Reality, excellent probe you put together here for us and does have a tip jar listed down below. Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Bye for Liz.